Okay.
On the Zoom.
On the Zoom, record. I'm going to record it on the cloud.
Okay, I think we're live.
I think we're live too.
So should I let Ron Marjo in? Or
I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. I got it. Already
Okay.
taken down. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Going to take you downstairs for a little bit. Get us back into our normal locale.
I think we are recording live.
Isn't this great? This is
Yeah.
great. Welcome to New Thought Tuesdays. I'm Dean Regan, and guess who this is?
Yeah, Rich Smith. And we'll do anything to not miss a broadcast on New Thought Tuesdays. I'm traveling.
Rich is traveling all over the place. And as you can see, I'm traveling a little bit in our own house. So,
Yeah.
Hey guys. So what are we doing today, Mr. Richard?
Oh, we're talking about spirit and how do you communicate with spirit? How do you know when spirit is speaking to you? What are the signs you get? How do you deal with the ego versus the spirit telling you what to do? What is the ego and what is spirit? And what is the difference between the two? And what is spirit?
What
to you?
Absolutely. What is spirit to each one of us? Welcome to New Thought Tuesdays. We are glad that you are here. Let us just begin. This whole idea today is that sacred exchange, that how does spirit communicate with you, through you, to you? What is, and that brings up the whole relationship with spirit. As you know, you're in New Thought Tuesdays, and this idea of spirit and how it communicates to you, we're examining this through New Thought Ancient Wisdom teachings. For instance, for Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, some Abraham Hicks comes into some of what we talk about today, and Buddhism as well. So that's what we've got. And if you are new to New Thought Tuesdays, you perhaps don't know that we first start off with a little bit of a opening remarks, if you will, and that's what we're doing today. And then we will move into our inner circle. So if you're watching this on social media, go to newthoughttuesdays.com and press on, yes, I want to be reminded, and we'll send you a link to the Zoom room so you can be part of this conversation that we have. And these conversations are really life-changing. I have hesitated in saying that, but New Thought Tuesdays and my whole involvement with it over the years has been life-changing, and that's all part of what goes on here. So how does spirit communicate through you? Oh, Richard.
Yeah.
Well, first off,
we had a good time talking about this one.
We have had a great time talking about it. How does spirit, first off, Richard, what is spirit? I mean, people that are joining us in the inner circle today, pretty much we have a communal awareness of what spirit is, but we need to talk about that. What is spirit? What is spirit? That idea of, well, for me, let me just go into spirit. The idea, for me, I use the God word. You know that. I use the God word. That's that higher power calling, that sense of that which is greater than me, expressing in this moment and through this moment. So that's for me what spirit is. That's for me that what spirit is and how it expresses itself. It's like it's expressing itself right now in the beauty of New Thought Tuesdays, in the beauty of the inner circle, in the beauty of what I see around me, in the flow of that which is anticipated and that which is not anticipated, and just that whole, with me, living in concert with that life that is unfolding. So that's how I see spirit expressing. I see it expressing in that which I want and also that which I don't want, the appearances of that which I don't want. And then, I mean, then it comes back to the idea of how does this communicate to us? How do we sense that idea of a greater power, a higher power, and does it actually talk to us? Are there words? What happens?
Okay, there you go. Does it talk to us? Ernest Holmes, who's one of my, mentors that I've studied, says that, what does he say? I forgot what I was going to say.
He talks that every individual has within them
Right.
that spark of the divine.
Yeah.
And in that spark of the divine,
what I was going to say is that he wrote a book called Can You Talk to God?
yes.
And yeah, and it's really a great book. And you know what? I believe you can speak to God, and you do it every time you think a thought, every time you speak a word, every time you act on something, you're communicating to the creator of all that is, which is everything. And it's including you. It's within and as within you, it's as you, it's through you, it's everywhere. It's everything you see is an expression of the divine. I call it infinite intelligence. I don't use the God word. Infinite intelligence. No, for me, I grew up a Catholic, and the God word just brings up, so sinner. I was a sinner back when I was a Catholic, but it's an infinite intelligence that's everywhere present in and as and through everything. And it does communicate with me. Dean and I were talking earlier when we talked about what we're going to discuss today. And Dean was saying that to everybody, it's different. Communicating with it is different for each person. And, for me, and I was thinking about this, that I'm so glad that through affirmative prayer, which is a 5-step process that Dean and I use with our clients, through that prayer treatment, you can connect with the infinite intelligence, divine presence, using the 5 steps: recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. And through that process, you're speaking affirmatively to infinite intelligence, and infinite intelligence responds to that by giving you demonstrations. To me, that's how it communicates. I do the prayer. I put it out there in the form of affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. It comes back to me as a demonstration. And then I go, oh, wow. Then I can see the hand of God moving through my life, things moving around. And I know that that the infinite intelligence is always giving of itself as good, as beauty, as wholeness. And so if it's coming back to me as that, I know I'm moving in the right direction. If it's coming back to me as something that's a struggle and not working out right, then I know that's probably coming from my ego and not infinite intelligence. Because infinite intelligence, it covers my back, basically.
So this idea then of infinite intelligence, this universal mind, this spirit speaking to us, and you were quite articulate there, Rich, in talking about how you use prayer, you express prayer, and you pay attention to what happens after it.
Yeah, that's how God speaks to me, I think.
And there's this idea, Abraham Hicks is particularly into the idea of vibrational qualities, and this idea of vibrational, bringing your vibration to a certain place, and I do so love that, and I use it a great deal. It's Buddhism talks also about, as does Science of Mind, the idea of meditation and prayer. And I love the adage that prayer is when we speak to our higher power, and meditation is when we listen.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk in the inner circle today about how each of us experiences our communication with our higher power. And so we'll reflect specifically on what each person who wants to share what their experience of their higher power is, and how that higher power, how that spirit speaks with them, communicates with them. And we're going to go more into that idea of how do you listen? Like, we are the opening of our very topic today is, how does spirit communicate with you? Well, Communication is initiation and response. That's what communication is. There's initiation, there's response. And if you're not listening, to that communication, then you're not going to hear it. You're not going to be able to respond and engage in a communication that is ongoing. You first have to listen. And that's where I think the meditation comes in. And as you brought up earlier today, Richard, the idea of, okay, what is ego and what is intuition?
Yeah.
What is ego and what is intuition?
Yeah.
I talk about the prayer and having that sensitivity to the intuition.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you feel intuition? How do you know that it's intuition and not just the ego? Do you get a gut feeling? Do you look for signs that are leading you in a direction? You know, for me, I get a gut feeling, and especially when I do a prayer treatment for somebody or for myself, I get that. Joel Goldsmith calls it the click. You just get this feeling where you just know it's already done in the mind of the infinite, and then you just wait for it to appear. And usually it does when you go in with that much faith. However, if you're going in with questions, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Well, ask for signs, see how it feels inside, and then meditate and pray on it, and then take action and see what comes back to you through that action. Anyhow, did I just give a little lesson? And
I think you do, and well worth it, and welcomed as well. The idea of when we go into that place of, am I doing the right thing? Yeah. Well, that text, am I doing the right thing? That's just the script. Okay, that's the script. How, as a creative, if you're an actor, you'll get this probably more than some others, but what is the feeling tone underneath that? What is the subtext under that? Is it I'm not doing the right thing? I'm doing the wrong thing, and I'm concerned about what I'm doing or what I'm thinking or what I'm knowing. That sense of consternation is a real fertile place to find a place of quiet so that you can listen. Because when you're in that space of that vibrational consternation, your vibration is going at a lower level. As Abraham Hicks would talk about vibrations, you want to bring your vibration to a place where you can accept the communication of your own higher power in a way that you understand. I love, one of my mentors will say, God, he uses the God word. So God, let me know what this is. Tell me very clearly, because I can be thick. And he says it with such joy and such self-deprecation in kind of a loving way. It's like, I really just want you to give this to me in a way that I can absolutely not deny. And there is a divine desire that he has to have kind of a dramatic, an absolute, I want to hear it. I want to know it. I want to feel it. I want to be certain about it. And that's part of his divine desire. Some of us might have a different divine desire for how the Spirit speaks to us. And that's what gets fulfilled, is what is your divine desire of how Spirit speaks to you?
yeah, Dean calls it a divine desire, which I love it. I call it dream. I have a dream, and I think every actor, writer, filmmaker, screenwriter, anybody in the creative entertainment business, they have a dream. But I encourage you to take on what Dean calls it, a divine desire, because that's exactly what it is. It's putting a desire out to the universe to be able to allow itself to create in and as and through you, as an artist, as a writer, as a filmmaker. This is the infinite expressing through you. And so the divine desire, rather than the dream, is opening up and allowing, use me, infinite intelligence. Well, this is when it sounds good to say, God, use me, and let me know how you want me to be used.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think about that? That whole idea of use me, allowing infinite intelligence to use you. I often hear that expressed.
For me personally, and there's a couple of songs that use this one particularly. I know that Ricky Byers has written. There is a sense of it really depends on what the intention that you have as you're singing that song, as you're using that phrase, use me. Is it indicative of me opening myself up to possibility and embracing infinite spirit?
Yeah.
Or is it, I am a lowly, humble servant and I am not worthy, so use me. Okay. And for Dean, the second one is not a good idea. For some people, it might be. It might be the divine desire of perfection, of humility. For the Deanness going on, I go with the first way.
Yeah. The difference to me, the difference between those two is, are you connected to infinite intelligence or are you disconnected from infinite intelligence? If you're saying, use me with a sense that I'm low, I'm this lowly person that can't just do it for myself, you're petitioning a God, something outside of yourself, to do something for me, use me. However, if it's use me in a way that allow me to see what your divine desire is for me, and make that my divine desire, because it's, I mean, let's face it, if you're doing something that you're not really meant to be doing, you're struggling trying to make it happen, and it's not who you are, it's not your nature, it's not the nature of the divine expressing itself using your unique talents, your unique gifts, and unique personality to be able to create through you. So to me, that's what use me is. It's use me. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a spiritual coach. I understand spiritual principles really, really well. I understand marketing on the internet. All of these things that are gifts that I have. Use me. How do you want me to use this stuff to express you as me?
Well, that's where you've got it here, is that idea of how does spirit communicate with you? You've coined it. You've started the conversation. So you've already reached out to your higher power, which is going to experience and express itself in, through, and as you, and communicate to you in a way that is pleasing to you. Yeah. Is in a way that you can embrace and that you can accept. It may not be easy. It may not give you the answers that are easy and effortless that maybe you want, but it is a divine desire that is communicating through you. And you've started it by asking the question, well, who the heck are you talking to, Smith? You're talking to the barista there over at Starbucks? You're talking to yourself, experiencing and expressing as a higher power.
Yeah. You know, also when we go into the inner circle, we can talk about that. We can ask our members, how do they believe that this power and this presence is using them? What are their talents? What are the divine desires? And we can talk about that in inner circle. And so,
which we're about to go into, Mr. Smith.
Yeah. Well, let's explain what the inner circle is.
The inner circle. I'm glad you asked. The inner circle is a group of people that discuss these topics confidentially every week. We go into this Zoom room, for lack of a better word, and we talk about how these particular topics are working in our life. We learn from each other. We grow from each other. We do not teach one another. We do not fix one another. We simply are there to hear and accept and grow. And that's what we do every week on the inner circle. So the way to get part of that, go to newthoughttuesdays.com, click on I want to be reminded, and we'll send you a simple email with the link to the Zoom experience. Thank you, Zoom, for doing what it is that you do. Now, Mr. Smith, before we leave the interweb here, where people are listening to us on social media, and thank you for doing that. And please comment and like and do all those social media things below. Please, please, please. You know what it does to our algorithm. That's great. God is speaking to us through our algorithm.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember the idea is spirit communicating with you do remember to just take a breath and listen. Allow yourself to meditate and release some of that human desire and allow the divine desire to trickle into your awareness. And then pay attention to what shows up in your life. And we're going to talk about signs in the inner circle. I know we're going to do that. And pay attention to what shows up into your life. And thank you. We're glad that we showed up in your life. Richard Smith and Dean Regan showing up in your life every Tuesday on New Thought Tuesdays. We're rocking. Richard, have a great, I'm going to see you. I don't know. Am I seeing you in the inner circle? Are you going to go on your way?
No, we have to go on our way because we got out a little late today.
Okay, great. All right. Well, we're going to go into the inner circle and we are sending you all love and light, and we are stopping our recordings. We will see you next week on New Thought Tuesdays.
Okay.
So I am now stopping that.
See you then. Thanks, Dean. Did you stop the broadcast live?
I did not stop the broadcast live.